Hi there. I decided this ship was not long enough. So, I used the builder to copy and paste the bow forward, and then filled in the space. I think I may have gone a little bit further than I meant to. Still, if I add enough detail in between, I think that I can still make it look pretty cool. But that's not what we're working on this episode. I have another thing I've been worried about lately. Specifically, the frame rate lag I have had around my RS system. There seems to be a certain amount of lag associated with these exporters and importers, and basically anytime you have stuff going in and out of the system. And I've also heard rumors that Ender IO conduits can also cause a little bit of lag too, so I want to get both of those completely out of my auto crafting system. And that's not an easy thing to do when refined storage is your only auto crafting solution. And for that reason, I have decided to install Applied Energistics. So all of those goodies are now available in my copy of Sky Factory 3. Of course, that doesn't solve all of my problems immediately, because for one thing, I don't have a real source of certus quartz. You see, since the recipes haven't actually been put in here for Applied Energistics, it's not set up for it to come out of sieves or loot bags. So I have to be a little bit inventive. I could either use a void miner from actual editions, or I could use Extra Util's quantum quarry. But I think what I'm going to go with is the excavator from Immersive Engineering. So, since I've already set up a coke oven and steelworks over here, it's time to start work on the excavator. An excavator probably doesn't sound too logical because there's no dirt for it to dig from, but that's not actually how excavators work. We actually have to go through some dirt and stone to fool the machine into thinking it's actually over the ground. But it doesn't actually take minerals out of the ground, so that's okay. So the first thing we want to do is craft a core sample drill. Which should take just a couple minutes. And let's see if we can use it right over here. And that's actually a recipe. I thought it was a I had thought that it was a multi-block construct. Alright, so we'll just put this right over here. And then we want to supply it with some power. Alright, so next we need to give it some power. And this should tell us what we can get from this area. And it takes about 200 ticks, which is about 10 seconds. Or is it already done? I have a core sample. And there's a silver vein. And apparently I can get 38,400 ores. Let's try right over here. And down it drills. Up comes the core sample. No minerals. Let's try over here. No mineral. And under this stone right here is nothing. Oh, we found a magnetite vein. Well, this is taking forever. I have been basically checking chunk by chunk to try to find a quartzite sample, and haven't found one yet. But I have found a bunch of other ones. At least enough to make me willing to set up my excavator to see if I can get some ores so I can build this thing. So we still need the excavator. And there's our gold vein on those chunks that have actually showed me a core with items in it. I've simply placed it in the world with draconic evolution. So I've already made up the blocks for the excavator, and I'm going to see if I can come up with the ores. And if I come up with the ore blocks, then I should be able to make a void ore miner. I know there's going to be a lot more blocks than this, but I'm not going to know what they are until I make that. So that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, I've got my materials assembled. And let's see, this is a bauxite chunk. And this is another bauxite chunk. We want gold and we want diamond ore. Hopefully we'll be getting the full blocks. Alright, so here we have our coal area, which means that it will also give me diamond and emerald. And the miner takes up a 3x6 area. And we'll just give it a little extra space to be on. So that's a 5x8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And from what I've read, we want at least 5 layers of cobble. So I'm going to have to go back for some more. Seems like this sort of thing ought to require smooth stone anyway, to be honest. But it doesn't matter. I have a big chunk of stone in my lower hold. Alright, so next we take our hammer and give it a whack. And we have a great big hole digging machine. And this looks like the place where stuff comes out. So I'll stick an iron chest on it. And I'm going to guess that I put the battery there. Nope. Power input. Oh, those things that look like plugs. And there we go. Looks cool, doesn't it? But the question is anything going to come out? And the answer is yes. We've got coal ore already. So we'll just let it dig for a while and see how we do with diamond and emerald. Well, it didn't take long to empty this capacitor bank. And I might be disappointed if I wasn't mainly going for the ore block in the first place. So next we'll want a gold ore block. And we should find some of that. In one of these places. Right there, it looks like. All right, so we're going to move that excavator down under here. At least within the same chunk as this. So this will be fun. All right, so we've got our excavator set up and batteries charged. And off we go, digging for gold. And there's our gold block. Silly me. The recipe doesn't call for gold ore. It calls for a block of iron ore. Which is not a big problem. We've got a deposit right over here. I just have to move this mining machine again. And there's some right now. I have to admit, this is a pretty cool thing about this machine, that you can see the different ores as they come through. And there we are. So we'll just let that run until its battery runs down. And I'm going to go make this void miner block. And void ore miner controller tier 1. And supposedly if I wave this in the air, it will tell me what else I need to actually make the miner itself. Or maybe I need to right click on it, left click on it, shift click. Oh, you know what? I've got a book about this somewhere. I believe I put it in a chest over here way back in the beginning of the game. So let's see. Okay, I believe I have figured out everything that needs to go on here. So I'll just move this out of the way. And place this on top of here. And then right click with the assembler. Or left click. Down here. Which also explains why it stopped. Maybe I should build this higher. About 5 or 6 meters higher, or I could just build it down here. Alright, I pretty much just removed the floor of this room. And we should now be ready to make this thing. All right, and this does seem kind of familiar, doesn't it? And now we need power and a place for the ores to go. And we'll set the chest over here. And we'll just plug this in and see what happens. And glowstone right off the bat. Isn't that nice? Now, from what I've heard, these things do use up a truckload of power. And I haven't actually confirmed yet that they will actually give me any certus quartz ore. But we'll find out soon. Well, no certus quartz yet. And I have managed to so far resist the temptation to jump in front of this beam and see if it kills me. But power seems to be going through fairly nicely. We generally generate power more quickly than this. Why aren't we generating any power? Why aren't we generating any fuel? Why don't we have any trees in here? Why do we have so many apples? bet this thing is full. It's actually not. Okay, actually it is. We need a void upgrade for both of these. Okay, I've got void upgrades. Oh, how long has it been since I've upgraded one of these things? I'm not sure if I need an additional thing in here to slap an upgrade on here. Nope. Okay. Alright, that should take care of our extra saplings and apples. Kind of a waste, really, but seems like I should be able to do something with those apples. But the important thing is, that's not very much oak. I figured we'd have a huge backlog of oak in these things. And I guess it's burning it all for fuel. So we'll grow some trees. Ah, there we have a whole stack in there too. So we have wood in there, we have carbon in here, we have syngas here, and we are generating power again. Apparently faster than we're using it, which is an enormous relief. And we've got some nether quartz ore and ardite ore, which is nice. But we still need that certus quartz. Let's hope we come up with some soon. Alright, I think I've come up with something to help me get that certus quartz coming through. I've made some light blue dye with floral powder, which, if I mix that with this clear lens, should give me a light blue lens, which will increase my probability to 10%, almost 10%, of getting certus quartz. Yeah, I've got draconium, that's kind of cool. And certus quartz ore. And with that, I am well on my way to doing things that Bacon Donut never intended me to do with his mod pack. Next episode, I need to increase my power output, and I want some turbines on the new Agamemnon. So we're going to start on some extreme reactors next episode. Until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.